is technology impacting each of you sitting in the room today? And we're going to find out from our panelists how it impacts the business that they do and how they specifically harness technology to improve their own careers, and maybe some takeaways that you can have for your personal careers as well. So where will today's technology take us tomorrow? And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's very confusing, and I think sometimes it can be segmented into your age group. I'm sorry to say that. I'm over 40, so I always have a go-to 18, 19, 20-year-old in my back pocket. And Lauren, when you wanted some help with the math, you called up a 20-something. Very good. Lauren is just 30 years old, but those 20-somethings are always one step ahead, right? So it can be confusing. How to harness it, what you want to use in the internet. Professionalism is going to come into our discussion today. Next steps in harnessing it and how you're going to use it. Tools, best practices, and then trying to narrow it down maybe so that as you're sitting there and you're listening to the panelists today, you have an aha moment. You say, aha, I never even knew that was an option. I'm going to put that into play tomorrow on Monday morning, and that's what we're looking for in this session. So as you registered for the Evolution Fitness Conference, you saw the description, and it's really just all about the emerging media, and that's what we're going to get to. So I'd like to introduce our panel, and first I'll start by introducing myself. You've seen me running around the show. I'm a consultant, and I'm your panel moderator. And I work on a bunch of different fitness projects, and one of the projects I work on is the Evolution Fitness Conference and the Fitness Career Center that's going down near the main stage. I also manage a corporate fitness program. I have 6 North America locations and 12 international locations. And so all of the ways to connect with our internationals and connect with trainers that I manage, they're in other cities, come into the discussion that we're going to have today. I did a special project for the NAFC, and the NAFC is sponsoring the Fitness Career Center that's downstairs, and I was pleased to be on the panel last year and a couple years before I was moderating it. But most importantly, Brett Hobel and I were talking earlier today, something that makes me a little different than other people that are in management or consulting in fitness is that I still do what I'm daily teaching a group fitness class. In fact, Michelle is here from UCSD. She is gone through the UCSD training program, and she is one of my student teachers that came in a couple years ago to go through the program. And I get belly to belly with the participants in my classes and other fitness instructors, and I'm always thinking in the business as a consultant about how my day-to-day classes impact that. So I can say to Lauren, hey, I think with Pound, you should do XYZ with Aqua because I teach 2 Aqua classes on Wednesday mornings. So I like to say I have 4 part-time jobs and then I have 4 children. So come on, it's Mama Angela here. And I have 4 sons. My oldest son was here helping out, and that also puts a little different edge on how I look at fitness, and it really helps me as a professional. So I'm going to allow the panelists to introduce themselves, mostly because I'm always good for one mispronunciation. And since we're videotaping this, I don't want Brett Hobel to tell me I've mispronounced his name. Did I get it right? Woo! So I'm going to let them introduce themselves because it's really about what they worked on before and what they're currently working on. And that's really what matters, is what they're currently working on. So we're going to start with Lauren, and Lauren has a very fun story. Lauren, what did you work on before? What are you working on now? A little bit about your background.
Hi guys, I'm Lauren Buesner. I'm very happy to be here with you today. I've been in the fitness industry for about 13 years. Basically grew up with Crunch. That might be a familiar logo to many of you in this room. I started as the corporate office receptionist, worked my way up primarily between marketing and group programming. I always felt like I worked more in entertainment than in fitness with Crunch. Our mantra was where fitness meets entertainment. That was primarily through group fitness. So it was an awesome way to basically fuse these 2 passions. Through Crunch, I've seen a ton of really interesting workouts come through our door. Pound was one of them 4 years ago. I met the creators. They're here with us today, Christina and Kirsten. When I met them, I knew that there was something special not only about them, but their program. 4 years later, they approached me and we decided that it was time to take this thing to the next level. So 3 months ago, I joined their team officially as the VP of Operations, relocated from New York City to LA, and I'm here with you guys today.
And we have Mike Montegrassi, who I always leave the I off of his name and the emails never reach him, with NESM.
Yeah, so my name is Mike Montegrassi. I work for National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm going into my 21st year in the fitness industry. I work primarily as a personal trainer, fitness manager, and nutrition coach. About 5 years ago, I was hired as a master instructor for NESM, and then shortly after that, I took a position full-time with the company. And what I currently do is oversee our live education events. So we do over 120 workshops, all of our conference education, our instructor-led on-led education as well. So I'm excited to be here and share some of my information with you and also learn from the other panelists here as well.
Great, and next we're going to have Holly Del Rosa.
Hi guys, so my name is Holly and I've been in fitness for 12 years. I was a gymnast growing up and I always had a passion for working out, and it just grew into a passion of helping people and working out. So I was, let's see, 22 years old, graduated in the recession, and I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I'm going to become a personal trainer. So I moved to New York City and I started my personal training brand there. And I was there for 4.5 years. And at the tail end of leaving New York, I started doing fitness segments on TV. So Dr. Oz, New York One News, you name it, it happened. It was very awesome. And now I'm getting more into YouTube videos, Live Strong Woman, ehow.com, and writing for different magazines. So writing for different fitness magazines, and I also have a jewelry line, and it's called the Blessed and Beautiful line. So it's workout jewelry that you can wear while you work out or just while you're running around shopping in your workout clothes. And so now I'm in San Francisco. So I'm traveling from LA to San Francisco to New York now.
And our biggest loser, who's not a loser at all, who lost his voice.
Does this work?
Check, yes, it does work. I did
we
lose
might
my
pass
voice.
that around. I think we will.
So my name is Brett. Grew up in New Jersey. I did not start the fitness industry. I was a pre-med. I was a broke-ass pre-med, actually, doing research, and I couldn't afford a gym membership. The 15th time I walked into the New York Sports Club, the front desk pulled me aside. You're that guy, and you can't come in and get it until you get a membership. I was like, ugh. So my buddy's like, why don't you teach boxing? You've trained in martial arts for a long time. And I didn't think I could do the instructor role, but they had the sidekick, like, you know, the assistant. So I applied, showed up with my clipboard. The guy said, put the clipboard down. 20 extra people showed up. Here are the focus bits. I was like, dude, I'm like in jeans. Sink or swim. I swam that day. Got into the fitness industry, not because I wanted to. I needed a membership. And then I basically, you know, I went for my passion instead of the paycheck. I love teaching, and I burnt out from medicine. I changed careers twice and I ended up in fitness, and I never turned back. So, you know, passion is priceless. What I currently do today, I work for a lot of big companies. I'd say my first big break was with Beachbody. I did an infomercial with those guys. I was going to do Brazilian butt lift actually first, and then my agent and lawyer blew the deal, and they called in Leandro. I fired them, brought on new people, and then I ended up doing rev abs with them instead. Then fast forward a few years after that, people always ask, how did you get on The Biggest Loser? I'm like, oh, 20 years of really freaking hard work and applying 5 times. But that was a lot of hard work, and I applied 5 times. Every time Julian would leave and come back. And I would go in for a cattle call and never get a call back, and just built up. The one theme I'm going to talk about is relationships. No matter where you are, there's no substitute for relationships. I built up enough relationships with the cast of people. And then at that point, I was ready. I went in for the interview, and I was like, I'm the real deal, man. I put my time in. This is what you get. And I just fit the mold that year. So I did season 11 of The Biggest Loser. I was teamed up with a girl named Kara Castronova. She's a boxer from New York. And it was me and her. That was a great experience. And then I went out on my own with my company. And currently, I just launched a program called the 20-Minute Body. It's a 20-minute workout and 20-minute recipes. Because I think food is more than half the battle at the Bulge. And we did physical products. I have a book coming out also under the same brand. So there's the physical product side, and now we've moved completely digital. And that's what I'm going to talk about, is moving digital and using online challenges. But we are going into a big launch at the end of March for both our DVDs, which will be in Target, and our book, which will be on stores. So it's a good one.
Close for me, Joseph.
Alright, so, looky, looky.
It's a big boy.
If you use technology, it will serve you well. So just looking over to the side, I noticed, look, there's a microphone. How awesome. My next panelist, I'm going to have her introduce herself, but really I would just like to say a few words. Linda Shelton will introduce herself, but honestly her reputation precedes her. And when I look on the trade show floor, I just want to say almost every brand on the trade show floor, Linda Shelton has somehow touched that brand, shaped, molded. And so Linda, feel free to introduce yourself, but you're a legend.
My name is Linda Shelton. I'm the dinosaur here. I've been teaching 46 years. I've been in this business a really long time. I've been training instructors and master trainers for 35. All I know is fitness. I was a physical education teacher and a dancer and an athlete and coach before I got into adult fitness. So I've kind of run the gamut because there was no industry when I started. I'm kind of one of those grandmas. You call it, yeah, I know. I'm kind of like a Yoda in this business, and so I've kind of done it all. So I've owned an aerobic studio in the 80s. Jane Fonda wanted to hire me, but I told her I had my own. I got into production in 1984, and since that time I have shot over 1,000 DVDs. I've done 4 TV shows. Know Laura well because I shot Crunch Fitness and I worked with them. I was the fitness editor for Shape magazine for 23 years. All of Weider's magazines, all 7 of them. I helped to launch Fit Pregnancy, and I worked on Muscle Against Hers, and I did Natural Health, and I left there. I went to Viv magazine, which was a digital magazine for women 35 and up, because by then I was definitely over 35. I'm still teaching, not regularly. I'm an exercise physiologist. I love being in the trenches and training master trainers. I'm the co-author of Body Shred. I wrote that with Jillian. She's currently a client of mine. I shoot all of her DVDs. I've shot Brett last year. It was awesome. I've worked with Angela, so I kind of run the gamut. I've worked with his cohort, Rachel Tonic, who owns Fitlife Productions, so kind of know everybody around, which is part of what I really love. Currently, I made a big change in my life 4 years ago, and I'm living part-time in Minneapolis, the SoCal girl, because I got an opportunity with a company called Fitness on Request, which is now Wellbeats, which is what I'm going to talk about today, which is virtual fitness. So I'm living in Minneapolis part-time and shooting programs for kiosk-driven, everything I do is technology, on delivering fitness to places that don't have group X. I'm still a group X girl at heart. And I've been doing audio training for probably about 12 years, so I manage the audio trainers for PHS, which is Proactive Health Solutions. I'm one of them myself, in working with virtual audio training. So everything right now I do is technology driven, and I'm the biggest no techie you ever met. But I've learned how to develop things, and what I'm going to talk to all of you about is virtual and what virtual really is today, where our industry is going, what you need to know with your own business, and that's it for me.
Let's see, this next gentleman is clearly not Rachel Tonic, but he's going to explain why he's
Actually, I am Rachel.
For Fitlife Productions.
Okay, I gotta follow you. Jeez.
You have to remember, I've been around longer than all of you to have done all those things in my lifetime.
So I'm like, I've done nothing compared to her. Actually, my story goes as this. I've been in fitness my entire life. I've been involved in it for over 20 years now. And a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach. And then, an odd opportunity came my way, and I carved a niche. And that's kind of a little bit about what I'll talk about today is carving your niche. And I got a weird phone call one day when I was taking a year off. I decided I wanted to take a sabbatical and just didn't want to do anything. I felt that training, I felt like working, and I was working for a in-home food delivery company, which is a zone diet company. And I was delivering food to people every day. I had a team of people that I was running and delivering 2,000 bags a day. And I realized that, gosh, man, I don't know about any of you guys are ever in food, but food is stressful. Do not go into that business. Stay away from it. So I took a year off, and I got this weird phone call. And in the process of getting a weird phone call, they were like, "Hey, we need somebody to check out our nutrition manuals. You know, do some stuff with this group of people that we got going on." And I was like, "Okay, all right. Well, what is it?" They're like, "Come in, we'll just talk about it." And I was like, "All right." And you know, I walked in, and it was probably a company of about 15 at the time, maybe 20 at the most, and it was a little program called P90X. And I was like, I don't know what do these acronyms stand for, and all this other stuff, and what to go along with. And I'm like, you want to do what? You want to do something at home? You want people to like work out at home? We go to gyms. And they're like, no, we're going to build this program. So what I did is I started to look over these food journals and look over these people, and I started realizing that I was more like a teacher, and that I had a red pen in my hand, and basically all I was doing was marking up things without knowing anybody. And that for me was, I had a difficult problem with, because like Brett, I'm a relationship guy, and it really is about building relationships. So I went to this group, and you know, kind of like to speed this up a little bit, but it ended up being a test group, and that's what I carved my niche in, was running developmental test groups for in-home fitness companies like Beachbody, and I probably run almost every one of their major ones up until Body Beast. And at that point, when I was running that as a consultant, strength training, you know, I had a full business that way. I also was approached by a company, an MMA company, because I was working with professional athletes at the time. And they said, "Hey, Mike, you want to design an in-home fitness program for us?" And I did. It was called Tap Out XT. And at that point, they were like, "Hey, Mike, we want you to be the face of it." So I took another turn from being a trainer of being Tap Out XT. I will say I did have the pleasure, on a little side note, that that's how I met Brett. I moved to New York to run Brett's developmental prep test group. So I watched Brett grow. And that's what I'll talk about too today, is, you know, on how to be a star. I mean, the star is kind of a relative term, but I've watched somebody like Brett grow. And there's a process to that growth. And so that's where I'm at. You know, I help design in-home fitness programs now. I do a lot of work, and I work with a lot of other trainers that want to bring their programs, you know, up and coming. And you know, I work with them, I work with their programs, and I work with you know, production, so that they get teamed up with people that are, you know, with Fitlife Productions and whatnot, so that they can be their best and grow. That's all I got.
All right. So next, we're going to talk to Angela Mader.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, first of all, you guys have an awesome panel here. I have ran into most of these people on the panel in some odd way, or at least follow all of you on Instagram. So it's really an honor to be on the panel with these guys. And I've done one video and I was backup. And let me tell you, they were always like, "Ange, get your butt down." I've never been a video star. Like, that's not my thing. I'm totally on the opposite side of things. If you look at my slide, you can tell we have products. That's what I do. So I've never been a, I think I'm certified, I'm NASM certified, by the way. So I was getting my MBA at the time, and I came up with an idea for a product. And if you don't know who I am, maybe you've never even heard of Fitbook, but you won't know me by my name. People just call me by my Instagram handle, which was Fitbook. The reason I put all my other products on there is because we really do more than just Fitbook, but I'm trying to get that out there. So the reason I'm here today is I am actually bring a different perspective, and if you are in the fitness industry and want to create a product-based company, you have an idea for something that you want to distribute. I was on QVC April of last year, which was a really cool experience. I'd never been in a green room. It was so fun. Hair and makeup, I never got to do that before, so it was so much fun. And we sell our products through Target, Amazon, Sportsley. I don't know, I don't like to necessarily hide behind the logos, but the reason I'm talking to you about that today is because I made the most non-techie product you could ever make. It's a fitness journal. And I tell people that, and they're like, you mean like a book? And I'm like, yeah, a book. It even comes with a pen, you know? It's so not techy. But that's part of what I want to talk to you about today is how do you integrate technology in a really smart way? Because I do a lot of work in corporate fitness as well, and actually have worked with Angela as well. The biggest part of my business, while Target may be impressive, I can tell you I make a lot more money from working with ConocoPhillips, Chevron, Intel. Those guys have money, guys. So those are the people, we're able to get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people healthy at one time with one sale. And so we are moving more into that space. And part of why I want to talk to you about that is because guess what? Not everybody responds to technology in the same way. There are a lot of portals that are really, really fancy and really, really cool, but guess what? If we only have 2% of the population actually using the portal, it's not effective. So how do you use technology, integrate it with, yes, paper. Like, you have paper? See, people still use paper. So, but you know, I guess what makes me so happy being on this panel is like we sell our products into Crunch. Brett, I'm kind of a fan. Holly and I have done work together. I'm NASM certified. Linda had the lovely pleasure of directing me on Cognition. And Mike is my like recipe guy on Instagram. So I'm really honored to be here. But I'm also, I feel like if you have any idea for a product and you need help on how to find distribution, I'm totally the business nerd as far as that goes. I could not tell you the first thing what to do, like doing a video. But I am excited to share that part because not everybody is in the fitness industry to teach. You might have ideas that go beyond that. So I hope I can shed some light on that. So thank you for having me.
All right, well now that you guys are incredibly intimidated by the fabulous panel, I want to find out who you are, okay? Because I believe that sitting in this audience are the future stars or the impact players who bring, through technology or through branding, they bring a new product to the marketplace. Or more importantly, on a day-to-day basis, you touch lives. And whether you touch that through the workouts that you conduct or the classes that you teach, or you're harnessing technology, you're touching lives. So what I want to see right now, all of the personal trainers in this room, please stand up. Stand up, come on. We've been sitting way too long. Personal trainers, stand up. Awesome, okay. These people are working one-on-one, sometimes in small groups. And so we're going to be knowing that we have this group of personal trainers here as we talk. It's good to know that. How about straight up group exercise? Nice, okay. These are my homies right here, okay. This is my group. I am a personal trainer. I'm certified as a personal trainer. But I don't consider myself a personal trainer because I like to work in groups. But my group exercise team, great. It's good to have you here. How about people that go beyond group fitness or personal trainer? Your business owner, program director. Stand up. Just get up. Those are cute boots. We want to see them. Come on. All right. So program directors, great. All right. So panelists, as we're talking, is there another category I should be including?
Fitness business products.
Fitness, somebody has a fitness
product.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
See, we got a couple here. All right, so panelists, my challenge to you is to keep that in mind as we do this discussion. And the format is going to be 7 minutes or less, and we're going to work through the topics. The first topic is mine, and I'm going to make it super quick, because I think you're going to want to hear from the rest of the group. But it is an important topic, and it's about music options for group fitness and personal training. Music moves the world, and we all are using it. Is there anybody in here who works one-on-one or in a small group and does not currently pull music into your program design? Just raise your hand, be honest. You don't use music at all. Great, so I'm preaching to the choir then. Everyone's using music in some way. What I wanted to suggest to you was that there are many exciting apps that are on the market that can take it to the next level for you. So how I've always worked is I've worked with music companies to get the music, and lately I've been experimenting by using some lay-down tracks and bells and whistles. So I'm suggesting that when you're prepping for your classes and you're thinking about music, all you need to do is give yourself 15 minutes to spend some time in the App Store. If you have a 14-year-old with you, it's even more helpful. But I'm challenging you, when you go back home on Monday morning, to give yourself 15 minutes to, let's see a show of hands, people who don't use apps at all. So you all know how to use the apps. There's some really exciting apps that are out there right now that allow you to do some crazy stuff with music. In particular, and I haven't had any food today, so I can't think of the name, but it's on my phone. I'll show it to you after. But it lays down a track for me, and it allows me to keep time. And it's, because music is so important to me, I like the music to boss me around. And so if I want people to be 30 seconds at a station, if I'm doing a boot camp class, I want the music to ping and tell me. And I like to have fresh and current stuff all the time, so I can't always rely on pre-recorded music. So those are the kind of things that I'm challenging you to harness technology after the show and really spend some time in the app stores. So that's my challenge to you on the music front. And now we're going to talk to Lauren about the do's and don'ts. And as a program manager for so many years, she's seen the don'ts of social media.
Thanks, Angela. So the irony of this is that there's probably other people on this panel that are far more qualified to speak about social media other than myself. I'm not an expert, but I have worked with star group fitness instructors, celebrity trainers, as well as brands that I believe have done social media well. We could probably spend an entire weekend talking about social media, but I'm going to keep it brief, 7 minutes or less, and just touch on very simple, basic do's and don'ts. The one thing I will say about social media is I feel it can be daunting. Tweet it, tag it, post it, poke it, slap it, whatever we do. I myself, and we're not talking about Lauren Buechner's Instagram, but rather say Crunch Fitness or Pound. But I believe that social media, it's just another channel to get the word out. And it's one of the most powerful forms of media. You can become a brand sensation overnight, but you gotta put the work in. And it's the most powerful, and it's also free. So if you're not using it, do your homework and maybe listen to my don'ts and do's. So don't focus on followers. Do focus on building a community. Social media is about engagement. You could have 100,000 followers that you paid for who don't engage. Or you can have an army of 1,000 troops, and it's those troops that are going to advance you. Building that army takes work. You have to put the work in. Like, follow, share, blog. It's your commitment to the medium that's ultimately going to build that community. Don't post everything everywhere. Do be strategic about your placement of content. There's a time and place for everything in life that includes your content posting. Know the time of day that yields the best results for each platform. Know the formats, what mediums perform best, whether it's image, text, video, etc. Don't abuse hashtags. Do use hashtags. It's not just something fun to put in front of every word of every post, but rather there's a purpose that it serves. Did you know that tweets with hashtags get 2 times more engagement than those without? However, limiting your hashtags to less than 2 is smart because it decreases your engagement by 17%. So there's a science, right? You gotta find your balance. So know that space, know that medium. I've seen this a lot. Good piece of advice, don't air your dirty gym clothes. Do keep it clean and professional on social media. If there's a negative comment on your feed, direct message your response. If there are others who have differences of opinions, and there's a lot of us in this room in fitness, health, wellness, there can be many different approaches, theories. Don't engage in an online debate. There's no need for that. Respect your peers and remember that social media is evergreen. So you put something out there, you have to be willing and able to stand behind it. Don't start monologues, do create dialogues. It's called social media because it's social. Engaging in a two-way conversation is much more valuable and interesting than talking to or about yourself. It's kind of like dating. Encourage sharing and ask meaningful questions. And finally, don't serve burnt toast. What the hell does that have to do with social media? In our office at Pound, that's a metaphor that we use often. That metaphor was inspired by a story that our CEO shared with us recently. It's the story of a chef who refused to serve burnt bread to customers even though it was free. And just like a great chef that takes pride in every dish that he lets go out the door, it's a good rule of thumb to never send out a plate of social media that you're not proud of. So our philosophy is this: if we're not willing to let it go, we're not willing to let it go out if it doesn't basically meet our criteria. And really that criteria is, do we believe in it? Can we stand behind it? And does it represent our brand? And ultimately, if we check those 3 boxes, we're honoring ourselves and our community at large. So in summary, know your platforms, have a strategy, put the legwork in to gain your following, be professional, know your voice and your personal brand, learn from your failures and your successes, pay attention to analytics, they're very powerful. Remember that it's not about you, but it's about them, your community, and don't put out crappy content.
All right, so I have some slides here. If you could advance it off of me, so you don't have to look at me twice.
And those talk about technology. Your email didn't make it into mine, but you can do this.
So I'm supposed to talk about websites and email communication, which I'll talk about. But again, that's not my expertise. I'm not a webmaster. My expertise is in education, so I'll talk a little bit about that and just opportunities that I've gotten personally through education in my career. But to talk about websites, first thing is just make sure that your website has a nice, clean appearance. You want to have a call to action on that website, and you want to capture some information so that way you can build an email list from it. With it, it can be something real basic like their name and their email address, maybe a phone number, but if you have too much stuff on there, they're not going to fill it out and you're not going to capture that information. You should also consider a double opt-in, so that way it's not getting spam bots and stuff, and also you're getting a quality list. Because that's really key. Again, you want quality people following your email communication or different products that you put out. So having something enticing, like a small product or something you offer, can get someone to sign up on your site. If you don't have anything, then they're probably not going to enter their contact information in there. Aside from that, you can integrate some media on there, testimonials, make sure you have your location, how to contact you on there. So there's a lot of good information out there about how to build websites, but take a look at some of the trainers in your area that are popping up top. And that's one of the keys, is getting the search engine optimization there, getting your thing seen. It could be paying for advertisements. I was talking to some guys at the gym that I go to and work out, and they say Yelp has been very helpful for them building their business as well, and they do promotions through that. Now if we switch gears and talk about emails, really the key to emails is having good quality content and doing it consistently. So, you know, if you're motivated, type out a bunch of emails. There's programs out there where you can set it up to send it out on a schedule. You don't want to over-email people and just email them to email, because people will just delete it. Also, in the email, you want to have your call to action, something important that's above the fold. So that way, people are going to check stuff out, and this goes to the websites too, on their mobile devices. Make sure it's optimized for that. But have something that kind of catches their eye, gets them to click through, come back to where you want to send them. And another thing you can do when you have this information coming from your website is start to segment your audience once you build up your email list. So if you have new leads, send them different content, then you send your members that might be coming to you on a regular basis, or if you're a personal trainer, people that are already your clients with that. There's a lot of good information out there on building emails, lists, and websites and stuff like that. So just to switch gears to another thing that I know more about, which is the education side of the fitness industry. One thing I will say is if you want to become a presenter at conferences and things like that, and also be kind of like a spokesperson for different things. I do a lot of interviews for NASM. Don't turn down opportunities. So that's one thing I've always done, is I kind of push the boundaries of what I'm comfortable with. If I don't know a lot about a topic, I'll research it, and if I feel I can do a good job, I will do that. So I've done a lot of different media interviews, especially over the last few years, and part of that too is building these relationships with the reporters, being accessible, getting back to them quickly. I'll send them ideas for stories as well, and I'll spend extra time with them on the phone. A lot of times they'll have some set agendas that they want to cover, but if you build that relationship, they'll start coming back to you. I've gotten a lot of additional interviews because I've had some good relationships with people. And then also with the conference side, like we're doing presentations here at the Evolution Fitness Conference, but I started off just at local stuff and actually just in the gym, doing presentations. Lifetime Fitness had a training center inside. I do presentations there, got more comfortable. That led to opportunities with NASM. Also local shows, like where I'm at, there's one called Fitness Fest. I went there, did some local presentations, and that's led to national presentations that I do now. So great thing about being an educator, getting out there, is that you meet a lot of people. If it's something you're passionate about, it's a way to connect with a lot of people. So just want to throw that in there, because I wouldn't have went 5 to 7 minutes without that.
I feel like I'm learning so much from you guys already. I'm like, should I take down my bridesmaids photos, best movie ever, from my Instagram one? I don't know. I'll have to ask you later. So first of all, I think for personal trainers, our best asset, best tool for success is building our network. So you can look to the person on your right and tell them how cute they are. No, I'm just kidding. Look to the person on your right and say, can I have your business card? And we're going to do a little business card swap, because every trainer needs to know another trainer. We have to build a buddy system here. Okay, ready, set, go.
Business card swap.
It's a good way to get somebody to come to the gym to do it.
All right, so everyone has met a new person. Did you meet someone new? Yay, awesome.
Dating shortcuts, right?
Yeah, always. I'm a Dr. Love over here apparently too. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about online training. But one of the most important aspects of online training is meeting people in the real world, because you don't want to be sitting at home all day long or squatting at home all day long in front of your computer with your clients without really getting out there in the world and meeting people. So after doing online training for 3 years, I've realized that through trial and error, it's best to train online clients in between your workouts. So we mostly work out from 2 to 4 when the gym's dead and when our clients are asleep or with their kids or at work. So from 2 to 4, get your iPad, get your laptop, FaceTime or Google Video, and the best way to market this is through Instagram or Facebook, or if you meet someone that's too far away. So when I lived in LA, I didn't want to drive anywhere, so I would online train my clients that lived in the valley when I lived near the beach. So you can train clients that will be, you can meet them through your website, or you can meet them that they're far away from you. And benefit to this is you'll have to drop your prices just a little bit, but online training is a great tool for people who are scared to go to the gym. They're intimidated by the gym, they're intimidated by trainers, maybe they're too overweight and they feel like, I don't want to be in front of other people working out, I don't want other people seeing me sweat. So they like the privacy of working out in their homes. Another benefit for us trainers is you don't have to worry about traffic, you don't have to worry about gas and other expenses that come along with traveling. Stress, people flipping you off and cutting you off on the freeway doesn't feel too good. So, and you can eat at home, so you have your healthy meals there, and you can kind of schedule it around whatever times work for you. So one of the great things about training online is you'll be able to train someone, let's say in India, at, if you wanted to, 10 p.m. your time. And my clientele ranges from 13-year-olds, which are always my favorite. They can sing me like the latest New Direction song, or One Direction, or what they're called. And it's a great way to work with teens, or specifically overweight people. I think those are some markets that we miss, because overweight people are not necessarily going to be working out at a gym, and they feel more comfortable and secure emailing you through your website. I find that when people email me through my website, they're like, hey, they take my questionnaire, they're like, I don't really want to work out. I don't want to work out at home. I need the motivation. So think of someone right now who lives far away from you and someone who you think you could train. Could be your cousin in another country. It could be your friend in Florida. That person is a potential client. So next time you go to a conference, it could be any conference, it could be a fitness conference, give your number to everyone with the idea in the back of your head that this person could be my client. You never know. Is there anyone who's online trained before? Okay. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So, step one to online training, make sure you have a cool backdrop. In my tiny New York apartment, I like set up some IKEA plant with like a really cute background. Make sure it's clean, you know, make sure your cat is not walking across the room. You want it to look very professional. And it's a lot of talking, right? So you make that connection with the person online, get to know them, get to know what they like to do, because you're missing that face-to-face interaction. So I would definitely make more time getting to know the person before and after the session, like when we're stretching. Another benefit is you don't have to touch sweat. Yeah, no Purell, you don't need to worry about that because it's through the screen. Make sure that your internet connection is really strong. Last thing you want is to set up, you know, a web conference with someone, training them online, and your internet doesn't work. I have trained multiple clients on the beach in Santa Monica, and sometimes the internet is blotchy, and I'm literally sitting on a beach chair, and I'm like, hi, I'm sitting on a beach chair, I'm training you. You don't have to move when you're training someone. You can be sedentary. You can sit down at Starbucks and train someone, but the beach doesn't have good service. So try to make sure that you could be at Starbucks, you could be at your college, wherever you are has to have the highest speed possible. Another tip would be make sure that you're wearing bright colors, because the camera is not going to be able to pick up darks, and always make sure to send them things in the mail. So you can go back to 1991 and do snail mail. It's special, and I always send them a resistance band in the mail just to kind of encourage them, or some recipes. It's a great tool to just kind of reach out and meet. You know, you can meet someone in person, or you can train them online, but when you reach someone through their mail, it's kind of like a special thing, something extra that you can do. So that's online training. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me after. And I know you guys want to do some squats right now. Does anyone want to do like just 3 squats? You guys look kind of tired. We're all fitness professionals. We're all like super hyper. Angela, I think we should do like 3 squats.
Holly says squat.
I think we should do 3 squats. Brett?
Can you Skype me down there?
We can Skype each other. Are you going to? All right. Feet hip width apart. Sarah knows how to do these. And then you're just going to sit down your chair and come back down. Let's do 3. 1. Chair squats. 2.
Boys.
3. Yes! Does anyone want to go on a run? No, I'm kidding. Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I can say one, I had a lot of friends in New York that do this now. They do online training, and they've doubled their income, and they've cut their hours down in half. One thing that is important, I just to add on to what she said, is the technology that goes with that. One, if you do this, there's an app called Trainerize, and it actually logs into, pulls videos from YouTube. So one of the pain in the butt things that you'll find when you're doing program design for a lot of clients is writing up the programs. How are you going to do that? So that's a good app and program that you can do program design. And when you write in code, this exercise, it pulls it right off YouTube so we can watch a video. So it's a good app. Trainerize. So I'm going to talk about online challenges. That's what I'm going to do. And it's helped my business out tremendously. But I want to talk about relationships. The mailing somebody something or a resistance band, it's that intimacy, it's that relationship, the appreciation. About quality and then go quantity. So getting like your community built and then scaling it off of that. And if you're a trainer or a group fitness instructor, but like a trainer, how do you scale your business without doing more sessions, hour to hour? Or if you're a group fitness instructor, how do you reach, instead of 30 people a week, 300 or 3,000 or more than that? Online challenges are the way that I found, specifically through social media, like Instagram or Facebook, was the best thing that we did. I just launched my DVDs online. We did an online challenge, private, public face group, and that was an amazing lead up to the launch, because you basically develop all these people. You develop a community of people that are very intimate with you, a lot of super fans, that drinking your Kool-Aid and they love it. You interacted with them, almost like online training. You're online with them. And if you've got a good campaign of how you're connecting to them and delivering the content, they're just like, they're in it. They love what you do, and then the product comes and everyone's just like, sign me up. So we found that was an amazing 1-2 punch, rather than like blasting people on your email list and something like that. It was a much more organic way. I love being on camera, so we had these videos that we sent out every week. But more than just a platform to start on, I just, you guys are in this industry and you're looking 5 years down the road, you gotta find a way to scale what you do. And doing it online is the fastest way to do it. But how do you get this community of people that are like into what you do? There's a lot of noise out there. So the first challenge I ever did was on Instagram. I had yoga people come to me and said, you know what? We want to actually cross-promote with you because we don't reach a fitness audience. But it was a gratitude challenge. I'm like, there's no moves? No moves. No videos, just pictures. I was like, really? I haven't done this before. So I did a gratitude challenge with 2 other yoga instructors, 3 of them actually. And it was amazing. So I just posted a picture of something I was grateful for, and they set up all the rules. But what I learned from that very clearly was this amount of people, how engaged they are. Because you're commenting, and the other thing that's interesting about social media, particularly Instagram, what does everybody like to use when they're typing? Emojis. It's like a new lexicon. It's an added, you have a place, like especially on Instagram, where there's no noise. There's not a lot of ads, not a lot of bullshit going on. They're like in an environment, there's a bubble. You're there directly communicating with them. Not a lot of noise, that's a really key ingredient. And then when they start, I have people in Poland commenting on other people in LA. And then all of a sudden the challenge ran itself. They were like, wanted to do it. I didn't even have to get in there. They were all commenting on each other. From a manpower point of view, it's amazing to see that run. You don't have to do it. But the quality is in the communication, this lexicon. So I would do a fist pound, and then I see 10 people, pound, pound, pound. Or like, that was hot, and then like little flame. And people, but what that does, it's sticky. It creates this very sticky community, and it's a lot more than an email of like text. So, using social media like that to me was the first when I did it, and I saw it very big. Then we decided, I'm good on camera. That's like what I want to do, and I'm promoting my workout videos. So the next thing we did is, let's do it on Facebook, and let's deliver the actual workout videos. I couldn't do that on Instagram. I can't take a picture of like a 5 workout move. They only got 15 seconds. That's not the platform that I wanted to do that on. Gratitude, picture me, sunset, easy. But it taught me a lesson, and we did it on Facebook. One thing that we actually asked was, that we tied it to is, why would I want an email address when I'm doing this? I want to build my list. One of the things, so I can directly communicate, and I own the list. Facebook changes their algorithm, I can get screwed. So we had all the content, the videos there, but we said, if you want the nutrition guide to go with us, give us your email, and I'll send you the nutrition guide. We got everybody's email, like that. And then they got the bonus content, and I have a real email address, not a bullshit email address that you enter through Facebook. A real one. Much bigger difference. They were qualified for that list, and I can tell you that that Facebook group, with the list and delivering that content, was a huge winner for us when we launched our product. You don't even have to have one. You can build a very engaged community of quantity, and then start scaling it. One trick, how do I get, if I only know I'm a trainer and first I ask my friends, and let's say you got 20 people signed up, how do you turn that into 400? You have to create an incentive for people to invite other people in, their friends. So we created an incentive. One, you can buy these little plugins or apps like Wildfire, other things that run contests. And you can say, whoever invites the most friends wins this thing. And these apps run it for you, build them right into Facebook. Facebook runs with a lot of apps. We did that, and our challenge went from the first one, it tripled. And then the next time we did it again. So having an incentive for people to invite their friends or spread the word beyond what you do, that's how you scale it. So if you have not done a challenge, you write programs, I know you deal with nutrition, you probably have all these documents that you already have in your business. Get them on the challenge. I guarantee you've done the work, you just haven't done it in this medium. How many of you guys have done a challenge online? So a few of you, take it. I'm telling you, you've done the work. And the great thing about why is it fun and why is it easy to do a Facebook challenge? Everyone's got it on their phone. You create a group, they don't have to go to a website and they got it right on their phone. Convenience is another key thing. So if you can, I would honestly, if you're trying to scale your business, that would be one of the #1 things I put on my list. Thank you.
So I'm very happy to follow Holly and Brett because they've set me up perfect for what I'm going to talk about, because they've already talked about some of the things that I want to talk about in regards to virtual. So before I tell you what my definition of virtual is and how I've been using virtual for many, many years in lots of venues and how you can use it, I want to see if you even what your definition of virtual is. So just kind of throw out, like, if you think of virtual fitness, whether you're a Group X teacher, a personal trainer, when you think of virtual fitness, what is that to you? When you hear, well, I do virtual fitness, what does that mean? Online, okay. On demand, okay. What else? Anything else? There's been lots of things mentioned today already that are virtual.
Convenience.
Pardon? Convenience, okay, what else?
Viral.
Viral, okay.
Mobile apps. Mobile apps.
Mobile apps, absolutely. What else? Holly already said it. Online training. Okay, anybody else? All right, pardon?
YouTube.
YouTube. All right, so when you think about virtual, in reality, we've been doing virtual since we've all been watching VHS videos. Because that's virtual. At home, exercising and not going to the gym, right? That's virtual fitness in a reality. Someone didn't physically go to a Group X class, they didn't meet with a trainer, they bought. Some of you don't know what VHS is, they're gone now. Some of you don't know what a cassette is either because we all use iPods now, but we actually used to have to make our own music and do it. And then I come from the place where we used to play records, but we won't go there. Thank you, we did. But when you think about it, all of those home videos, right? And the TV shows, I shot 4 of them. I shot 3 years of Crunch, fitness. It's working out to a TV, ESPN, Fitness Pros show. There was a ton of fitness shows. Galad is still on. Denise Austin. That's all virtual. It's a person working out at home to someone who doesn't know them and can't see them. Okay? So when we think about it today, 2015, we have to have a more expanded viewpoint because of the internet, because of apps, because of the way in which we function and want to build our business. We have to think of virtual with a larger perspective. So think about virtual as being able to do fitness anytime, anywhere, with any tool that you have, the way you want it. That's how I define virtual fitness. And what it takes into account is somebody having something like Daily Burn or any of the other apps on their phone and going, geez, taking it to the gym even because they missed class or they're not with their trainer that day. If it's a smart trainer, the trainer will say, I see you 2 days a week. You know what? 5 days a week is going to accelerate your program. Here's what I'd like you to do. Let's find an app you like. Or with what I do with Wellbeats, let's go over to the kiosk and pick a couple classes you like that gives you as a trainer, those of you that are trainers, control over your client 5 days a week or 6 days a week rather than 2 that they're paying you. It's going to help build your business to give them a full program that you want them to do rather than picking something that they can't do. They're going to become unmotivated and then fire you because they think it's your program and not the program that they just took that isn't for them. And it allows you to kind of embellish their life at no cost to you. That's part of, as Brett mentioned, relationship. We're all in this business because it is a relationship business. If you think about it, people can take a portable device, whether it's their phone, their tablet, or a computer, and exercise. But here's the truth, and here's the dirty little secret in the fitness industry. So when I started, there was no fitness, really. I mean, there was a little. 83% of Americans were not exercising. So we're 32 years now since we've now declared ourselves an industry. Guess what the percentage of people not exercising? 83%, and they're fatter, and they have lifestyle disease. We have basically failed as an industry, and we have everything available to get everyone fit, and we don't have to physically be with them. So that's my challenge to all of you, to think about it and how you can positively affect other people. So when you think about workouts, you can do them in destination. Hospitality, go to a hotel, that's virtual fitness. You guys are all getting my gist, right? When I left Shape, I went to Viv magazine, and it was an all-digital magazine. It was one of those first magazines that weren't in print. Now, people like to read books. Okay, that's why the journal that Philosophy Journal works, because people still like to read books. They're tactile, just like they want to put in a DVD now. But at the same time, we went digital completely, and there's so many digital magazines. How many of you read magazines digitally or newspaper? What we did is we started shooting fitness very quickly, and then we started putting video in the magazines. Now everyone's doing it, whether it's Shape or Self or anybody else. So you can actually read a magazine, and there's an insert to say, want to do the workout right that we just saw in print? Click here. So virtual is everywhere. Telephone coaching has been around a long time. Online coaching, don't you think that's virtual? It is, because you don't really see the person. So being able to have a website, are you doing live blogging? Are you making videos of yourself to be able to talk to people who log on to your website? If you're not doing it, it's a big one. It's a perfect way to begin people, particularly if you're wanting to do training, to be able to engage people. So when I look at virtual fitness, I look at how we can interact, because we're in a people service-oriented business, and it's all about the relationship. Those of us who are still teaching, we have a relationship with our students. And you want to create a virtual relationship with the people that you want to interact with. So what I did with Wellbees, and this was the lesson, is I began to shoot different. I used to shoot a lot of home DVD, I'm still shooting home DVD, but I don't shoot it the same. I shoot in a way where the camera's in your face and you actually think the person is talking to you. I shoot it in a way where they say, gee, I want to work out with Sean on Saturday because he's going to kick my butt. I can't wait to do, Molly's class on Tuesday. So they don't say, I'm going to go take a video class. They say, I'm going to go take Molly's class. I'm going to take Sean's class. And that's because of the way I shoot that material. So my recommendation is to you is you want to be up close and personal and create that relationship, whether you're doing a blog, a live video blog online, whether you're creating a challenge. You want to create the relationship, whether it's in writing, whether you're using an emoji, whether it's yourself. The virtual relationship is now what's going to drive you to have contact. I'm still training teachers, master trainers. I do all my master training on Skype. Why? Because I'm training somebody in Poland or someone in England or someone in New York. My trainers are now not here. And I've been doing that now for about, what years is 2015? 10 years. I don't have to physically be there with them. They need to show me and lecture from me online. We get on Skype and we talk, and I can give them immediate feedback, which takes the place of send me a video of you teaching, tape yourself, and then we'll have a conversation. I get to have immediate, tactile interface and interaction with somebody who's going to be teaching a workshop in 3 days, and I don't have time to review what they just did. So the message is really this. You want to look at how you can work virtually. If you're not working virtually, it is the wave. So we know VHS went away. DVDs, are going away. And they're going away not because we want them to go away. Rachel and I talked about it today. It's because VHS went away because technology made it impossible for us. So here's how quick this is happening. How many of you go down and get a phone, and when you get home, you get online, you see there's actually a cool new one that comes out the day after you bought your new one? Or you order your computer from Dell, and it gets there 2 weeks later, and they already have 5 new models that are way past what you already did. That's how fast virtual fitness is infiltrating every single one of your lives. You're teaching live, you're a trainer, there are other ways to expand your business, and you need to think about what's coming, because we have an opportunity to hit a lot of people. The 83% who are still not moving, and they don't want to go to a gym, and they don't want to watch a home DVD with someone who's not speaking to them. So what I'm suggesting to you is you find a way to look at your own gifts and what you have to offer, and find a way to sell that and go virtual. Thank you.
Your time's up.
I know.
I know how to even look at it.
I know. I was going to use my little phone because I didn't trust myself. I said, you got yours, and maybe put mine away.
I was supposed to timer and I didn't, but I thought that she gave you guys I thought that Linda did a wonderful job of giving you such great information. There was no need to interrupt. So guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I guess, becoming a star, you know, and I think that's in some ways a little misleading, and in others not. And what I mean by that is, how many of you have ever, whether it's, you know, you have a product, you have yourself, you know, have you ever, by show of hands, have you ever just said, how did they get that? How did they do that? By a show of hands, did anyone ever say that? Like, how in the world did they end up there? Or, if they could do it, why can't I do it? Like, how come not me? By a show of hands, anybody ever think that? Like, hey, how come not me? I mean, it's fair, I did. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm like, he can do it, why can't I? I definitely did. And I think that pulls into, when you think about it, there's some big things that aren't really talked about much, and they're known, but they gotta hit home. And in the process, because I've been through it all, you know, I've run development test groups, I've been in marketing, you know, I have a face, I've developed my own in-home fitness program, I've been on Dr. Oz, I've been on TV, you know, so I know it. And let me tell you, straight up, hands down, no bull crap, it's hard work. It is. It's not like someone just found you in a coffee shop. Because I'll tell you what, you guys, we're all in fitness. There has never been anyone found in a coffee shop in fitness. Oh my God, you're in fitness? I'd love to put you on TV. You should be in a coffee shop. You should be on TV. You should be in a video. It doesn't happen, you know. It's not our industry. So know that. And you know, the honest piece is, hey, it's hard work. You look at this panel right here, everyone has a different quality. Everyone is a different star. I mean, I look at everybody up here, star quality. Every one of them, and truth is, they worked for it. They really, truly did. They understood that when no said no, I gotta find somebody that'll say yes. They said, if not me now, I gotta find somebody who'll say that it's me. They said when I got criticized, I just gotta find, I listened. It literally said, I listened. Is that someone of value that has a, you know, has a critical eye? Or is that someone who just likes to be critical? Because we all know people that are critics. You know, like, whoever thought that, you know, 2 drumsticks would, you know, would get to where they are. I'm sure you guys are no strangers, right? Yeah, I mean, but look, hard work. 3 years later, right, you said you hired, you know, Lauren over here. That's hard work. So I think, you know, just in general, just to say that, like, if you want to be there, you got to put in the time. But that being said, if you're going to put in the time and you're going to do it, be efficient. Maximize the time that you put in. Like, hard work does nothing if you're not doing smart hard work. You can work as hard as you want. Be like, oh my gosh, I'm liking like 4,000 photos a day on Instagram, but I only got 4 followers. I sent out 6,000 postcards and I licked every stamp. No one responded. So you've got to be smart about what you're doing, which means you've got to be able to surround yourself with experts. It is. Your friend who thinks he knows what he's doing, he doesn't. Okay? He doesn't. She doesn't. Your friend who's like, oh yeah, I can shoot your videos, you know, I did a short back in high school. He doesn't. Okay? Like, if you want to have a professionally made video, you're going to contact people like, you're going to contact Rachel. You're going to go through these things. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to find experts. I'm going to pick their brain. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to build a relationship. Nobody wants to give information away for free, but they'll give it away to a friend. They'll give it away to somebody that they trust. They'll give it away to somebody that they care about, and they'll give it away to somebody they want to see succeed. But if you cold call me and say, hey, Mike, you know, I'm putting together a group, and I want to be able to do this, can you send me over your templates? Get out of here. You know? But if you put your time in, come to my class, or, you know, mention me, you know, just build a relationship like you care. I tell you what, I'm going to care. I'm going to help you. I may not give you my templates, but I'm going to guide you. Because we're in the fitness industry, guys. If we wanted to truly, truly be wealthy, we would have went to Wall Street. You know, California says there ain't a lot of trainers living on the Strand in Manhattan Beach. If they are, they got 4 roommates. Okay? That's what's happening. So you want to build that relationship with people in a positive way, which means fitness, our world, is about opportunities. Okay? We all get them. All of us. The Pound Girls took an opportunity. Natalie here, opportunity. And what did they do when they got the opportunity? They did a few good things. They were prepared. They showed up prepared. They were rehearsed. They were on time. They were put together. They knew that that could be their only shot. And I'll tell you, Linda will probably agree with me in this. When you have someone who shows up unprepared, we know immediately, right?
Yep.
It's immediate, and it's literally, it's just dollars going out the window. So as a fitness professional, whether you're in your class, you're training a client, show up prepared. You'll lose them both. You'll lose your class, you'll lose your client, you'll lose your opportunity to shoot DVDs. I will tell you, I've worked with Brett on many different occasions. Never has Brett showed up not prepared. He's maybe too prepared. He is so well prepared. He's like, I'm shooting DVDs, but Mike, let me tell you about this. We're going to also shoot a recipe book. What? DVDs. So show up, guys. It's an opportunity. If you blow your opportunity, you blew it. I'm not going to, I think that everyone sitting on this board, I mean, we're all about second chances, but you got to show up and be like, I want to be like, I got one over. I met Natalie Jill for the first time, today. I already knew she was great. I knew she was prepared. But when I spoke to her, she still was prepared. She knew everything. That's a brand. So I would say, remind yourselves of that while you're going through. Everything is an opportunity because we are going to notice it. People that can make things happen for you, notice. And real movers and makers will never tell you to their face, but they'll say in their head, I just don't have time for this. Who's ready, who's prepared? Because I need to maximize my energy. The other tough ones, be prepared to be judged. It's going to happen. We're in the fitness industry, and you know what? We got egos. And we're going to be judged on everything from bad form, knee over ankles, I can't believe her hair flips this way, Mike's got one collar in, one collar out, and it's going to happen. You gotta get over it. It's just a critical eye. If you really want to be a star, Brett and I have had a great conversation. I mean, Brett and I are best friends, so you're going to hear me reference him quite a bit. Brett and I have had a great conversation. You better know your elevator speech. You better know it. You got 3 minutes, if that. And you better be able to tell me why you do what you do. You better show me passion. And you better be able to get me to buy something, get me somewhere, or believe in me. 3 minutes. And if you don't know it, get to a whiteboard and start knowing it. It is a giant thing not to know, and I know it's scary because you're like, oh, I'm just a trainer, I'm motivated, I know it all. I cue better than anybody else. You've got a trainer, you've got a head trainer from NASM over here. He knows 2 million trainers that cue better than anybody else. They're great trainers. What makes you different? Know it. Really, truly know what makes you different. And bringing that into it, when you know what makes you different, when you meet a person like Linda or a person like Rachel with Fitlife, when you know that pops. That is what makes you a star. Because all of a sudden you're like, wow, you're passionate, you love what you do. You're like, oh my gosh, you work out with waste paper baskets, I'm going to figure out how to put that on. You love that stuff. I know what we can do with waste paper baskets. We can send it to China, we can make a mold of it. Right. Wow. So you see how this domino effect starts when you're prepared, you're passionate, and you know what you're doing. That's what it's about. So I will say this at the end, it's just, it's walk your walk, don't make it up. Any of you guys trying to make something up, it'll die, it's a fad. Your made up will die. It really, truly will. So I guess just winding it up, if you really, truly want to be prepared, is really think about, am I going to be prepared, am I going to maximize the opportunities that are put in front of me?
So I'm all of a sudden very aware, if my hair looks good, and I'm questioning that I hang out at coffee shops a lot. So I could talk to you guys about so many things. I think I have bright, shiny object syndrome, so they've all given me all these great ideas of things to talk about. But first I'm going to talk about technology, because that's what I was supposed to talk about. And I think the really important part about the product, I could totally sell you all, because you're all my customers right now, on why you should use a fitness journal with your client. But if I sat here and told you that I have the only fitness journal, I can tell you I know all my competition. So don't think that I don't know that there are 10 other products you could buy. What I think I've done different, and what I hope I've done different, is create a brand that has a voice much bigger than the product. And that's what I really aim to do. And technology is part of that. Even though I do have the Fitbook, we did create an app. Do you know how many people are like, when's your app coming out? I have an app. But it's not an app that you would expect. How smart do you think it would be for me to create an app that competes with MyFitnessPal, who just got bought by how many $1 billion by Under Armour? Not smart. The truth is, the fitness app industry is a $6.4 billion industry in the fitness space. It's expected to double to $13 billion by this time next year. But as a business owner, I can tell you this, 70% of apps in the health and fitness space, they never reach $10,000 in revenue. Okay, I don't know about you or where you went to school, but that's not good ROI. Because I can tell you, my free app that I created, totally just in this room, cost me 25 grand to create. Okay, I'm never making a penny back on that. Probably not the best business decision, but guess what? It was an investment for me, right? So why would I go spend the money to compete with an app that's already out there? What I created was a goal-setting app. What I see all the time, whether it's people that use the Fitbook or whether people work with personal trainers, they don't know how to set smart goals. So they decide they want to lose 5 pounds in the next week. Okay, unless you're on The Biggest Loser, it's probably not going to happen unless you really set smart goals. So we created an app around goal setting, download it, whatever. I don't even care if you download it, it's free. But I created it to complement my product. Why would I ever create something to replace a product that you go to Target to buy for $22.95? I would never create an app that you can download for 99 cents. So if you are in the this space of should I create a product, should I create an app, good luck with an app, and I'm not trying to be a downer in any way, but it's been done, and there's something to be said about first to market, right? So I can talk about technology all day long. The ways I integrate technology and what I do, I just created a new product called Fitbook Lite, and I talk about that it's integrated with technology. That's a really fancy way of I encourage everybody to buy a fitness tracker. Like I have my Jawbone on, and no, I do not get paid to wear a Jawbone. I wish. We encourage people because what we found with fitness trackers is it's the equivalent of a cheerleader on your wrist, because people are competing, like snapping pictures of their Jawbone and how many steps that we were talking earlier about how it can make people move more. So if your true calling is to help people, you want to think about all the different ways you can help them. So it's not just use a Fitbook and it will change your life, which it will, I'm not going to lie. It is what workouts can you recommend to people? What fitness trackers can you recommend to them? How can you get them moving more? We also created Healthy Bites, daily text messages. You guys should really look into mobile text messaging as a way to communicate with your clients, because frankly, people do not read emails. The open rate on emails is really, really low, and we do know that 99% of people open a text message within the first 2 minutes of receiving it. So in the corporate wellness space, guess what we do? We put a company's logo on the Fitbook because they like their logo and everything, and we give them Healthy Bites, daily text messages for their clients or for their employees, and we do that for 5,000 employees at a time. So what we found is kind of coupling the very tangible product, Fitbook, with technology has been a really effective way of reaching an audience that we may be missing with all this technology, right? So I'm kind of going to leave the technology there. Can you cut me off? Because I could talk for like 9 minutes. No, I'm not done. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is creating a product. Do I have time to talk about that? Okay, like 2 seconds, I'm sorry. I could talk all day long. If you're interested in creating a product, and I will tell you this, ideas are a dime a dozen. Do not think your idea is any better than anybody else's. My idea is not better than anybody else's. The only difference between me and all the personal trainers that come up to me in 2008 at my first trade show, my mom was working the booth with me, and they said, I created a fitness journal. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, where is it? And the difference between you and the person on the trade show floor with the booth right now is whether you're going to do it or not. And I created it. I did. I used all my money in my savings. I created 1,000 of those suckers, and they were in my like garage, and I shipped him out while I watched episodes of Friends, and some things never change. I still watch episodes of Friends while I work at night. The difference is this: if you are going to do something, do it for what you're. People say passion. And no offense to anybody that says the word passion. Passion's important, but action is so much more important. If you do not take action, if you do not work harder, I'm sorry, I preach all day long that sleep is important. I don't sleep. I'm running on pure coffee right now. The truth is, if you want to be anything in this lifetime, you're going to have to put in more hours than anybody else. I mean, do you know how I got into Target? I annoyed the heck out of those people. Okay, do you know how many red boxes I sent them? I mean, my brand is on point. Wait, red. Hello, I'm in red. My girls are in red. You know my brand when you see it, because, and that's not because of me, you guys. That is because I know that to stand out, what they call me in Target is a single SKU vendor. We're non-existent. They carry one of my products. They carry a fit book. And guess what? Guyam created a fit book. I don't even know. Anybody like Guyam? Okay. Guyam created a fitness journal to compete with mine, and guess what? We beat them. And I was like, see, that's why you go with Fitbook. The thing is this: if you are so passionate about what you do, it comes out of you. And the truth is this: I have no ambition of being a fitness star, because frankly, if you saw me on Cognition, you would laugh at me. It's hilarious. But I can tell you this: my passion for helping people is so far greater than my passion to be famous. I could care less if I'm famous. What I love is that I get emails from people that, oh my gosh, I started using Fitbook and I lost 30 pounds and my mom is using it and now her diabetes has gone away. And, I mean, all these amazing stories that truly changed my life. If you can identify that you're here to change people's lives, not make yourself famous, no offense to being a star is awesome, I'm sure. It's not about you. And I say it, because you just talked about being a star, right? In this industry, it is not about you. And I guess the parting thought is this: when it comes to creating a product, do not look at me and think that I had this handed to me. I come from a small town with 8,000 people, and my mommy and daddy do not have money. Okay, I started this business like bootstrap. And I've sold every single product and worked blood, sweat, and tears. And my favorite quote is by Biz Stone, the creator of Twitter. And I posted it the other day. It said, after 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, you will look like an overnight success. And when you see the Target logo, I am proud of that, because it took forever and it was hard. And all these people on this panel can attest to this, what you said about hard work. So if you want to talk to me, if you have a product you want to create, come to me, but also tell me what you're doing about it, because I don't listen to people's ideas that don't put the time in.
All right, so you guys have been so patient. I want to tell you what I learned, and then we're going to play a quick game before you leave. What I learned in listening to this panel, of course, I'm extremely impressed with all of the contributions that each person on the panel gave to the discussion. What I learned is that community is very important, and building a relationship with your clients, whether they're 20,000-fold or 2, is very important. And using technology to integrate is the way that you move forward. And the way you integrate is by harnessing that technology to complement the relationship that you have, starting small and then scaling from there. So the technology is there. I also learned that technology is very personal, and how you choose to use it is personal. I actually worked on a project with Angela for my corporate fitness account, and I used her good old-fashioned book, but I found that I needed to connect with people that were in other states and cities, so I used a PowerPoint that was sent to them, and then text messages on top of that. So I used 2 different mediums. I used a personal trainer to push through, and I also used the book. So I think it's all about harnessing all the different pieces of the puzzle that come together uniquely for the group fitness instructor, the personal trainer, or the brand manager that you are. So I'm going to